Hi everyone, Penny here. Let me angle my camera a little bit, make sure I'm live. See if I can share this to
Penny
my
here.
Penny for your crafts page. Let's see, share to my page. There we go. There. I think we are good.
Penny for your crafts page.
Yep, I hear myself. I see myself. Hi guys. Hi. Let's see if I can keep up with the comments here. I see Chris said hi. Hi Chris. Sharon, Cheryl, Kathy. Oh nice. Thanks guys. How good of you to join me. Oh, I left the door open. Oh well. Other people are going to hear me. I get a bit self-conscious if you guys have ever done Facebook Lives. I don't do them often enough, I guess, to get used to them. Or maybe I'll just never get used to them. I don't know. But they make me a little bit jittery, a little bit self-conscious. I was going to try to show my face at the beginning of this, but my setup currently isn't real handy for that. I did order a new phone holder, and we'll see if when that comes, if I'll be able to show myself and then flip my camera downwards to my hands. But for now, I'll keep it this way. So looks like everybody can hear me okay, I think. So again, thanks for joining me, guys. We are going to make, I think, a really pretty card tonight. A friend of mine has a birthday coming up, so I wanted to make her a special card using a set that I know she likes and the colors that I know she likes. And I think that's one of the great things about handcrafting your own cards, is that you can kind of tailor them to the recipient. And I mean, I know when I used to go shopping years ago for cards at the store, you would always look for that perfect card. But now I feel like I can kind of make one. So I enjoy it. And, you know, being the way the current situation is in the world, having something to do that's creative and with my hands and takes my mind to a place other than what you hear on the news all the time, I find it's really helpful for my mind, for my emotional status, my social emotional health. So anyway, enough of that. Here is the card that I made for my friend. I'm going to wait. As you guys know, there's a little bit of a delay in what we can see on Facebook as we are filming. And so I'm going to take just a second and make sure that this is centered well for you guys to see. But I think it is. I checked things several times. So anyway, this is the card. Yep, looks like I'm a little bit farther up than I should be. I'll come down here a little ways. So there's a lot of stamping on this card. And there's a lot of color on this card, which appeals to me. Sometimes I use designer series paper and you just stamp the sentiment. Maybe you stamp something that you cut out and add to it like a focal point. But in this case, I stamped all of this. So in essence, I created my own designer series paper. And I don't do that all the time. I typically don't do it at a class that my friends are at, because it takes a little while for one person to do all the stamping. And so, you know, there's a lot of waiting between people. But when you're on your own, this is the perfect time to experiment with color and the different stamps. And it's super fun. You can do this like on a huge sheet and then cut it down and use it on many cards. So, but I thought I'd tell you a little bit about how I decide it, you know, when I'm designing it, how I decide on things. So this is how I started out. I knew I wanted to use this set. It's called, oh, I should show you that. It's called Beautiful Bouquet. It has been in the Stampin' Up catalog, for 2-3 years, maybe. At least 2 years, maybe 3. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's a really big set. It's got 37 stamps in it. It's one of their larger sets. In fact, it has 2 packs in it. It's got lots of sentiments, lots of flowers and stems. There's even a a bow and a couple little wraps to make if you were making a bouquet of flowers to hold. I'm not doing that quite this time, but I've done a class with these before and we did a bouquet. Anyway, it's a lovely set. A lot of people like it. I adore it. I hope it never retires, but in the off chance that it does, I probably will never get rid of mine. It's perfect for birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, thank you cards. There's lots of sentiments that are there. I love this one. I couldn't have picked a better friend than you. I think that's so nice, especially because, you know, flowers picked, you know. Anyway, love the set. And here's the dies that you can buy if you are interested when you buy the stamp set. The dies are separate, but there's all kinds of dies in here that cut out the flowers, the stem of stems as a bouquet, individual stems, leaves, little tag, little wraps. I don't know. It's got a lot. It's got a lot. A ton. Anyway, that was the stamp set I knew I wanted to create with. And I also knew I wanted blues and purples and then a little bit of touch of green for leaves. So I started pulling out colors and I started playing with them. And if you can see back here, I've got a lot, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different stamp pads, ink pads out there. I started out using some colors, playing with them, and I liked those. And then I kind of added some more color and ideas. And then I also did some colors with this one where I changed up the blue and used a different shade of blue. And so I'm thinking I'm going to do it this way tonight for you. And this was the other card. This way tonight, it'll be pretty. But I'm going to change up the card base. This card base is Highland Heather, which everybody loves. Oh, there. I was going to say my things aren't scrolling very well, but okay. Yep, Sharon, I love that set too. It is one of the best. I'm sure a few of you guys that are on my team have that set. But tonight, instead of Highland Heather, I think we'll use Seaside Spray. Seaside Spray is this lighter blue that I used here, and I even inked the doily with it there. And then I used Highland Heather and Purple Posy and a touch of Pacific Point. Those were the colors here. And then the green is Pear Pizzazz. But on this one, I'm going to change up the card base and I'm going to use Seaside Spray. And then I'm going to go with more of this color palette for my stamping. Okay? All right. Let's see here. I'll tell you some dimensions. The card base itself is 8.5 by 5.5, and I need to score it. So that size is like a traditional book fold. It opens up like a book or a magazine. So let me get here it is. My score, my trimmer and score. So it is 5.5 this way, 8.5 this way, and I'm going to score it on the 4 1/4, which is right in the middle. If you use the Stampin' Up trimmer and score, you want to push the cutting blade out of the way so that you don't accidentally cut your paper and score it. And I'll have that done in just a sec here, and then I'll use my bone folder so that I get a nice crisp fold. Seaside Spray is one of the new colors, the in colors that were introduced last June. They go from June of 2019 to the end of May 2021. So it's a beautiful color. And then I'm going to cut my white that I'm going to stamp on. And that is measured at, it is 2 3/4. Let me get the card back. It's 2 3/4. I'm sorry, it's 2 5/8 by 5 1/8. The blue layer behind it is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And eighth measurements can be hard for people, so I'll kind of talk you through it. But sometimes I like to use 1/8 of an inch border. It ends up being 1/16 of an inch on each side if the layer is 1/8 of an inch difference. And it gives just the hint of a border versus some of my cards that have a 1/4 inch border. It has kind of a totally different look to it. But anyway, I'm just checking my comments real quick. Yep, a lot of us have it, Mary said. That's what I was thinking. I thought quite a few of you have it. So that's why I knew that the person getting this card really loved that set, but I also thought a lot of you guys have it, and so why not make something that some people already have the stamp sets for and can recreate, or at least be inspired to create something different on their own. So anyway, what was I saying? This is 2 5/8. So here's an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I cut it off at 2 5/8, and then I thought, oh, whoa, maybe I'll stop and talk to you guys about the cutting before I finish. So 5 1/8. The 1/8 ones are hard for some people that come to my classes. So you go 5 and you go 5 1/4. 5 1/8 is in between 5 1/4 because 5 1/4 is actually 5 2/8. So go to 5 1/4, go back 1 to that line, and then you've got 5 1/8. So now I'm going to use the cutting blade. And I can get another one in case I goof up on this. I'll have another spare backup ready to go. But I'm going to move it out of my way for now. And since I've already cut the layer that it's going to go on, I'm done with my Stampin' Trimmer. So I'll move that out of the way. Okay. So now I need to stamp. Let me get a pad to put underneath it. And this, because you intentionally want to stamp off the edges. If you only stamp within here and don't stamp off the edges, it doesn't have near the look as intentionally going off the edges. And when I'm stamping with a lot of stamps, I start with the big stamps first, and I try to be kind of random, and then I fill in with the next size, and then lastly be ordering through me. But if there's anybody on here who does want to order through me, I of course appreciate any and all orders I get, and I send you a thank you card for ordering with me. And if your order is $50 or more, I send a gift to you as well. This month I'll be offering one of my Celebration extra items as a gift. So Celebration ended the end of March, where for every $50 Stampin' Up had, every $50 you spent, Stampin' Up had some really nice extra free prizes or free gifts you could get. I have a few of those in my stash, and so if you, even though that's ended, if you order with me and spend $50 or more, you can pick one from what I have. You can pick one of my free Celebration items. Anyway, this is the host code. The important thing is you have to use this host code if you order from me so that I can give you those rewards from me to you. So you can screenshot this later should you be ordering, or you can message me and ask me. But like I said, I know a lot of you guys are already demonstrators, and so you should order through yourself so you save money yourself. So I'll move this out of the way. Okay, back to stamping. I need to open my ink pads. So I've got Pear Pizzazz I'm going to use for the leaves. I'm going to use Highland Heather for the littlest dark purple flowers. I'm going to use Purple Posy for the lightest purple flowers. And I'm going to use, instead of Seaside spray, that my card base is that, but instead of Seaside spray on here, I'm going to use this darker color. So let me move Seaside sprayed out of the way. The darker color blue is called Pacific Point. Beautiful color. I'm going to use that one. And then for the darkest blue in the centers, I'm going to use Night of Navy. You may have noticed I have two different ways that these stamp pads open. These were the Stampin' Up ink pads as of 2 years ago and prior. A year ago or 2 years ago, I'm not sure, somewhere around there, they changed to a new design. And so they look slightly different, but the ink is perfectly fine. They look and work the same. They just have a slightly different opening mechanism. So no big deal there. Okay, back to this. So I'm going to kind of be random about this, but I'm starting with my biggest flower. I'm going to go with my dark color. These are photopolymer, meaning you can see through the stamp, which is kind of nice when you're doing your own designer series paper. Yeah, I'll list the colors, Cheryl, for you at the end if you'd like. So, oh, and thank you, Chris. That's a nice comment. I appreciate that. Oh gosh, I almost forgot. If you will like and share, the important thing is to share my video right now or at some point. At the end, I'll give away your choice between the two cards. I will send the blank card to whoever I'll draw the names from, and I'll send it to you, and then you can use it if you like with someone, or you can have it as a model for you to create your own things with. Because of course I'd like more people to tune in to me, so if you like and share my video, I really appreciate that. But I just need to see that you have liked and shared it. So anyway, back to this. Start with the biggest one. In this case, it's my darkest color. This is Whisper White paper, which Stampin' Up's Whisper White is specially formulated to really accept the color really well. The way the finish is on it, it loves ink. Oh no, and look what I did. I forgot. There is this little extra piece on the side of here, which helps you when you're lining up your dies, and I pushed a little bit too hard and I got that through. So let me flip it over. Good thing there's another side on there. And I'll wipe this off so I get ink off of that part. And we'll do it again. So don't push too hard, but push hard enough. I mean, there's a nice in-between medium that you're going to hit, and that comes from experience mostly. I'm going to stamp off on purpose, and I'm going to go maybe here. Oops, that didn't work out so well. Try that again. There we go. Not perfect, but it'll be okay. There. You don't want it too even. You want it to look kind of random. Off here. Oh man, I never have this trouble when I'm not stamping live. Of course you get nervous. And maybe a little bit up here. Okay, there we go. Not perfect, but it's okay. Now I'll go in and I'll fill in with the next larger size, and that's the Purple Posy. This is a color they had trouble with last year. It's a beautiful color, but they had trouble with the formula on the ink not carrying well. So they did have to discontinue making of this. So what I wanted to say about that is if you don't have Purple Posy and you can't get it, a good alternative is Highland Heather, but stamped off once to get a lighter color. And I'll show you on my scrap, but let me get one of these in here first. I'll show you on this one. So here I'll go to the Highland Heather. Now Highland Heather is slightly darker, see that, than Purple Posy. But if you wanted a second generation to get a lighter shade, then do it a second time and see how that works out. So if you don't own Purple Posy and you can't get it, but you wanted to get something similar, that's how you would do it. Highland Heather, stamp it off once, and then stamp it on your paper, and you would get that lighter shade. Okay? Anyway, I'll go back to my Purple Posy. And I'm kind of turning the stamp here and there so that the petals don't all go the same. I'm really trying not to get my head in the camera too. So hopefully if I stretch myself up tall, I can get over it better. There we go. And you could come up with different color combinations for this. If you prefer reds and pinks, you could really do something pretty with that. I better wipe off my block. I've got a little bit of ink on it. That's something you want to be careful of, is that if you get ink on your block and then go to your paper, sometimes if you rock this down, you may get a splotch of color where you don't want it to be. So just keep an eye on your block as you're stamping, like right there. Let's see, I think I want just a hint of it over here. And another hint over here. I think that might be good. Well, I always have a hard time knowing when to stop. There we go. Okay, I'm going to start with that. Set that aside. Set my dark one aside. Now let's go to the little one that's in the darker shade. There is another darker shade of purple, but this Highland Heather is just darker than this. Darkest one is called grape. Gorgeous Grape. That's it. Gorgeous Grape. This one has the little notch on it too, so you want to be careful when you push down. At first I had this cushy pad under it, and that's what allowed that first mark to show up from. So anyway, back to this. There we go. here. Here. That might, well, maybe a hint over here. That might be it. And then we'll do the leaves. Okay, let's see. Go here. The leaves you can do just about anything with to kind of fill up a space. Turn them around different directions. They just give that extra splotch of color. I think maybe right in there somewhere. So hard to make yourself stop. Sometimes I keep going too much, but I want it to look full. Okay, I see one more spot, and I'm going to stop. There you go. Okay, that's enough. There's a bit of green everywhere. Oh, I see one place. Just the tiniest shade of green. There, I needed a little bit there. Okay, done. Stop. Okay. Oh, one last thing, though. I want to do the centers of the flowers, and that's that Night of Navy I mentioned. So this little center is in that kit, or that stamp set. There's two different centers, but I like this one. Let me get over it so I can see to place it. Oops, see, you got to watch your block. Yeah. Good. I like that. Okay, like I said, this card's got a lot of stamping on it, but I like that. A lot of color, a lot of stamping. Let me move that out of the way. So this, I'm going to give it just a second to dry, and then it's going to layer on here and then go on this. And in the meantime, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Oh, I meant to ask. You took your pad out. Yes, I did. I took, Kathy said I took my pad out. Yes, I had this underneath, and I think it was too cushy. If this is what you meant by my pad, I think it was too cushy, and it gave me that deeper impression, and that's when that little part on that photopolymer stamp showed up. So I took it out, and I think that worked better. But it did make some of the time my impression not go as much. So there's a happy medium in between there, but I'm good with it. So, okay, my next question was, I'm planning on making it a happy birthday one again, but here's something I started out with. I did wishing you a day of love and happy memories. And that can go for a wedding, or I thought it could go for a birthday as well. So let me pull back the cards. So if you were doing that, it would have gone this way, and I thought about putting it there, but I just didn't love the look of that as much. So I went with happy birthday this way on the outside. Okay, well, I haven't done the inside yet. So I'll give you guys a second. Tell me, what do you think? Should I do wishing you a day of love and happy memories, or shall I stick with the happy birthday? Give me your thoughts. I'm going to start closing some ink pads, and then I'll see what people think. Let's see. I'm either going to go with, for ink, I think I'll stick with the Highland Heather. So I'll close everything but Highland Heather. Stick with happy birthday, Sharon says. I like that. I like it with the doilies. Yes, I'm going to add that doily. I'll show it to you guys. In fact, I need to keep out Purple Posy for that reason. So, okay, birthday. We got enough birthday guess choices, so I'll stick with that. Now, my happy birthday, I used the stitch nested labels. I'll show it to you real quick. I used the stitch nested labels dies for it, and this is how I store my dies, most of the people that come to my classes have seen this. I use the stamp cases. You can buy blank stamp cases from Stampin' Up, and they're great for holding things. You can buy the thick ones, these thinner ones, and you can even buy half-length ones. But the thin ones work great for storing dies in. I take a piece of thick chipboard, and I buy this magnetic sheets from Menards, Home Depot, any place like that. These are made to lay over registers, heat registers, and they're magnetic so that they kind of stay on there to close off registers. They come in sheets that are about like this long. I trim them down to fit onto whatever my need is. Like, let me show you another one. I've got some more handy here, I think. Sometimes if I need a whole piece on this side, this was my stitched rectangles. It was big. I needed a big sheet on my cardboard, and then on the other side I only had a few left, so I just used some scrap pieces of magnet. It holds them. And then during a class, do I have it? Yep. I have this stand-up photo frame, clear plexiglass photo frame that I put magnetic pieces on, and I can stick my dies to it so that they have less a chance of getting lost during a class. Anyway, that magnetic sheet stuff is pretty inexpensive, but you can also buy more magnetic sheets and cases to store them in that are specifically designed for dies. They're a little more costly. They look a little bit more polished, a little bit nicer, and you can find those at craft sites online. But I just kind of do it the more frugal way so I can spend more money on dies and stamps instead of on the expensive storage. So, but I applaud those of you that can afford that. Anyway, stitch nested labels. I picked out 2 different ones. I've already die cut them, but I wanted to show you this. This is a trick I have been doing lately. When I remember and I get new dies, I cut especially something like this that I'm going to use for layers. I cut one of every die and I keep them clipped together and I keep them back here on my craft table. So then when I'm looking at a sentiment, I'm like, ooh, do I think I would like it on here? And if so, which size do I want? So I can pull these out. I can lay them on the card while I'm designing. I can see which way do I want it? What size do I need? It just helps me in planning. So I thought I'd mention that. Just a tip. Other people I'm sure have done other more clever ideas, but that works for me right now. If you've got a better clever idea though, tell me, because I want to learn that one too. So, okay, back to the happy birthday one. I'll move this one aside, but isn't that pretty with that silver embossing? Oh, so pretty. It just didn't kind of have the pop that I was hoping, so that's why I went with this. So, okay, happy birthday. I am going to bring back in my squishy pad underneath when I stamp this. Because when it's a photopolymer stamp, having a squishy pad underneath usually gives you the best impression. And I'll try not to get my head over it, but I've got to see where I'm going here so that it's not cockeyed. But I did die cut extra in case I get it cockeyed. Okay. The thing too about, yeah, that looks good. The stitched shapes, whether they're these nested shapes or any stitched shape, there is a right and a wrong side to the die. The stitching only looks best in one way. So if you die cut any ahead like I've done, just kind of give it a glance before you stamp on it. It's not the end of the world if you stamp on the wrong side. Most people will never notice it, or if you catch it, of course you flip it over and do it the other way, but just a hint. Okay, I am going to pop that up. So Stampin' Dimensionals, 1 on each side. I think I said in the last video, these got to be the #1 seller for Stampin' Up, these Stampin' Dimensionals. You use every ounce, every little bit of it, and they're pretty affordable. So, but before I take those off, let's do the doily. But I can close the dark. I don't think I'm going to use the Highland Heather on the doily. Let's see, where did I put my doilies at? Here they are. These are called pearlized doilies. And you get, let's see, you get 24 in a pack for $4.50. That's the number. What's cool about them is normally I use the pearl side. And hopefully you can see how it's pearlized there. They're really pretty. But on the back side they're white, and you can ink these up, which is what I did on here. I took that Seaside spray, that lighter blue here, and I inked up the white side of it. So that's what I'm going to do with this, but since my card is blue now for this one, I'm going to ink this up with either the Purple Posy or the Highland Heather. I'm going to start with Purple Posy and see if that is, what's the word I'm looking for? If it's dark enough. And, oh, there, I was looking for my sponge too. Here it is. These sponges come, they're round like this, and I cut them in fourths, and then one more time. So I end up, I think I get 8 out of one sponge. And then I just take a piece of cardstock, write on them what the color is, staple them, and really, like most blues, you can get by with a blue one. It doesn't have to be one for every shade. You can wash them out. But normally I just kind of let the ink dry and I reuse them again. So, okay, I'm going to dab, put this back underneath. Actually, I don't know that I need that squishy pad under, but it won't hurt. This is boring, isn't it, to watch me do this? But you can see how pretty it is. You can make it as light or as dark as you want. And I just kind of keep turning it around till you get it where you like it. And then I'm going to hold it against this and see. Yeah, that's plenty dark enough. I'm going to stop there. Okay? All right. I think I'm ready to put the card together. How long have I been going? Long time? Hi, Autumn. I don't know if I've caught everybody as they've joined us, but I just now happened to look up and it says Autumn's watching. Hi, Autumn. Okay. As I said, this is a very narrow border on this one. A lot of times the border is wider. When it's narrow like this, I like to use liquid glue, and I use the Tombow Mono Multi, because if I don't get it exactly perfect, for just a few seconds until this liquid glue is dried, I can kind of squish it around a little and wiggle it into place like that. Now in a few seconds it's going to be set and I won't be able to slide it anymore, but at first you got just that little bit of slide that you can do. Okay, now I'm going to put that there or there. Which way? Doesn't much matter, does it? That way, I think. It doesn't take a lot of liquid glue. There we go. Am I still in the camera, hopefully? Yep, looks like I am. Okay, and I didn't add ribbon on this. I have quite a bit of Seaside spray ribbon that would look pretty, but I thought with the doily that was kind of enough of that feminine touch already. Plus I added the rhinestones, so I thought the ribbon was kind of overkill, but I don't know. I love that Seaside spray ribbon, so I'm looking for any reason to use it. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of Tombow on the back of this. Since it's got holes, you know, you can't really... I tried running my adhesive tape runner over it, but this way I think works best. Even though it's a pearlized finish, it seemed to do okay with the liquid glue. Sometimes the metallic papers don't like liquid glue, but it seemed to do okay. And you only have to hit it in a few spots. No one's going to be manhandling it. So, okay. I'm going to go... I intentionally want to go off this side a bit. About there looks good. And then just give it a pat down, give it a second. Then the trick to these, you can either use a pokey tool to pull these off, but I like to just push down in the middle with my fingernail, and it kind of pops the paper up so it peels right off real easily. And then sometimes I like to use my tweezers when I go to place something, because then my fingers don't get in the way and I can really kind of center things as I like. There we go. Okay, back to that pokey tool, and I will put my rhinestones on. At first I did just 3, which is what I usually do. I do things in 3s. And I did, let's see, I did here, here, and here, like a triangle-ish kind of shape, which is more pleasing to the eye than a balanced situation, but But then I thought, oh, I've got these centers of flowers that I wanted to add a little sparkle to. So then I ended up adding more. So totally your choice. But I wanted to carry the sparkle over here. And then I wanted some sparkle on there. And then, like I said, I did a few random ones in the centers of the light purple posy flowers. Come here. Oh, go away. It's being difficult. One there. One here. No, one here. Maybe one more. I don't want to. I get carried away. I think I said that already, didn't I? Now I think he needs one because I feel like he's lonely with that one. So he's getting one too. A lot of bling on this baby. Okay. There. And then for the center, I already have cut uh, 4 by 5 1/4 white, whisper white layer to go inside. But if you're going to stamp something on the inside of your card and you're going to put this layer in, it's best to stamp first. So if you've got a mistake or something you don't like, you can turn it over and do it again before you've glued it in. Once you've glued it in, it's a little harder to rectify. So let's see. I think I want to carry... I'm not sure which color I want to carry in there. I think I will carry in this one. No, changed my mind. I'm going to go with the light. So that's the purple posy. And I'm just going to do one down here. And maybe one. Yeah, and then maybe 2 of the darker. Again, like I said, I like to do 3s and 3s. So 1 and 2. And then a leaf or 2. And you could do this on the, what do you call it? On the envelope too. You could add a little bit there. Sometimes at our classes we do the envelopes, but really, if we do it, sometimes slows up other people, so we don't always do the envelope there. So, if you wanted, with this stamp set, you've got the birthday sentiments, so you could also stamp on the inside. You've got happy birthday on the outside. And then, like I said, that wishing you a day of love and happy memories, I guess, is the best one for the inside if you want something. But I think I'll leave mine blank with just the flowers. So, and then I don't usually use a lot of liquid glue on the inside of the card because if you get it too thick and it's bumpy, then when you write, it can be a bit crazy. So a little bit of tape runner here and here. You don't need a ton. And then just give it a little bit of a border around there. And then, if you remember, I always stamp on the back of my cards. And I have to put, since I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I put that on there. There. Into the card. Which color do you like better for the base? Do you like the Seaside Spray or do you like the Highland Heather? Love it. Better than a bow. Good deal. Good idea to keep track of loose dies. Definitely. Definitely. I know we've talked about it before, but if you lose a die, oh my gosh, you can't buy single dies. So you're either left with never having that die again or buying the whole die set again just to get the one you lost. So you have to be fanatic about not losing your dies. You know, they're precious. So anyway, which one? Which color? Sharon and Mary say both. Okay, that's good. I can buy that. I like both too. I kind of think I like the blue better myself. I don't know, because I like that dark touch of blue in there more. But I don't know. This one's pretty too. So, guys, thanks. Normally we'd have a craft night tonight. We'd be sitting here for a couple hours making 3 cards and a 3D project. And I really miss doing that, and I know you guys do too. So it's sad. But as I've told most of you, I've got a different card class coming where I'll have card packets, and you can, if you decide to sign up and pay for the class, you'll get a packet from me of the things we're making, and one by one, when you pick them up, you can do a little bit of the stamping and then take the packet home, and then we'll do a Zoom class where we'll all put them together, but virtually. So that will be in the works. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, I will, for those who shared and liked it, I'll draw a name and you'll have your choice of whichever one you want. I'll do that drawing real soon because I need to get the other birthday card out to my friend. Whichever one you don't choose, whoever wins, the other one I will get out to my friend. So, oh, and I almost forgot, tomorrow evening, I think we'll do another Zoom craft social get-together like I did last weekend. So if you want to join that, you'll have to let me know so I can send you an invite, because I can't post the invites online. They need to be private so that we don't get people joining in there who have no reason to be there and who might kind of bomb the party on us. So let me know if you want in. Oh, I know Mary, I'm bummed too. Chris, thanks for joining me. Thank you, Kathy. That's nice. You like tonight's card best. Oh, let's see, that's this one. Yep, I think I like that one best too. I'm just skimming the comments because I don't do a good job reading those when I'm creating. It's hard because I have my computer over here. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll go back and look at the rest in case there were questions. And Cheryl, I know you wanted to know all the colors, so here, I will real quick just put them out here so people can see them, but I'll also type them up so you can see them, know the names. Those were the colors. Isn't that a pretty color palette? Look at that. Oh, love it. I think that's why I got into Stampin' Up, mostly because I like the color thing going, you know, the coordination of colors. Oops, I'm a little bit too far up there. Sorry. Anyway, there they are. Remember, if you don't have Purple Posy, it's no longer a color you can buy in the ink pad, but you can get that similar shade by stamping this off once and then stamping it again. The second time you get a lighter color. So thanks, guys. Like I said, let me know if you want to get into the Zoom thing tomorrow night or tomorrow day. We will actually start, I'm thinking noonish. Last weekend we started about 10ish, but I think this time we'll start noonish because I've got a couple of things I need to do in the morning, and then we'll just go all day and evening for those who want to. I mean, you can come and go as you want, which is actually what I do too. So thanks, everybody. Take care. Talk to you later.